Hi everyone, it's me Dew's Corner, and welcome back to another video. But this isn't just any ordinary video, this is going to be a relatively big video. As today, I am going to tell you my favorite video game from every year I've been alive so far. I got this idea from especially Cody Leach, as he's the only one that I've seen so far that's done one of these based off of video games. And I figure, since I'm a gaming fan, I would give you my 2 cents on my favorite video game from every year I've been alive. So, why don't we just get this party started? We're gonna get this party started with the year I was born, 2001. My favorite game from 2001 is Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X, along with Final Fantasy IX and 7, shaped me up to the person I would be today. This game is so nostalgic for me. This is the very first PlayStation 2 game I ever played. And well, I was like, 4 years old the very first time I ever picked up a PlayStation 2 controller and played this game. So obviously I never beat it. Until I was 12 years old and I decided to pick up this game legitimately and play it all the way through. This game has been with me through so much time. I believe the first time I ever picked up this game was 2005, because I believe I wanted it at I believe it was Blockbuster, and I got it there, and I mean, this game is an incredible game. From the protagonist, Tidus, to all the other characters, like Auron, and Wakka, and Yuna, and Kimahri Ronso. All those characters together make probably my second favorite cast of characters behind Nine's. The combat system, I think, is the absolute best in the entire series. I'm not even going to argue that. The side quests are probably also the best in the series. It's a close second with 7 if it's not, because this game has some incredible side quests. Just what an awesome game Final Fantasy X is. It's been with me through so much, and I will always appreciate it for that. 2002 is next, and with that we got Super Mario Sunshine. Super Mario Sunshine hasn't been with me nearly as long as Final Fantasy X has, but I remember the very first time I ever played this game is when they used to have the old Nintendo consoles at McDonald's. They had the GameCube machine, and I played this game on that GameCube machine at McDonald's. They used to have that, I believe, until 2008, I think. It was between 2006 and 2008 they got rid of them. I think it was 2008, though, but anyways, that's not the point. The point is, that's the very first time I ever played Super Mario Sunshine. I finally got a GameCube in 2007. That's when I legitimately played it. I didn't beat it, actually, until 2020 when I got the 3D All-Stars collection. That is the very first time I ever beat Super Mario Sunshine, but it's my favorite game from 2002. It's got so many fun quests in it. The flood mechanics, I think, are so unique that it's hard not to fall in love with those mechanics. The world of Delfino Plaza and Delfino Islands in general is just amazing to look at. This is probably the Mario game that I think is the most beautiful, behind a certain game that we will actually talk about pretty soon, but later in the video. This is not my favorite 3D Mario game. In fact, I'd say it's my third favorite 3D Mario game now. Because there is one game that I will actually talk. I have more than one 3D Mario game on this list, is my only spoiler, but Super Mario Sunshine is such a fun game, with it basically being a vacation of a game. 2003 is a licensed game, and that is SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Remember how I said that Final Fantasy X has been with me throughout most of my life? So is this game, but this game means at least 3 to 4 times more to me. This game has been there forever. I remember when I first unpacked this, I believe it was Christmas 2005. This is the first PlayStation 2 game I ever beat. And the second game I ever beat, period, behind Super Mario 64 DS. This game means so freaking much to me. You'll know it because of all the times I played it on the channel, and how much of a blast we had with it. It just... words cannot describe how much I love this game. They put the world of SpongeBob perfectly into video game form. You get to go to so many locations with something as iconic as Jellyfish Fields or Goo Lagoon, or something that doesn't appear that often like Rock Bottom or Kelp Forest. The worlds are amazing in this game. All the characters feel like themselves. If this game was released during the post-movie era, well, that's not exactly true, because I was going to say if it was released during the post-movie era, it wouldn't have felt as good. But we got Cosmic Shake earlier in the year, which I have yet to play, but I heard it was awesome. This game feels like the true video game for SpongeBob fans, and I don't think this will ever be beat by a new SpongeBob game. 2004 is Spider-Man 2. No, not the game that's coming out in October, but the game based off the movie that came out in 2004. I actually did not play this game until 2016. When I found it at a store, I picked it up, and I'll say it again, I fell in love with this game. I have currently beaten this game twice. I really want to play it again. I beat it in 2016 and 2018. So it's been 5 years since the last time I played a playthrough for this game, but I'll never forget it. This game, you feel like you're Spider-Man in this game. And if it wasn't for a certain game coming out in 2018, this would be my favorite Spider-Man game, but I mean, come on. I'm pretty sure now Spider-Man for the PS4, or at this point, PS4, PS5, and PC, is like the definitive Spider-Man game now. And I think that will even be dethroned by the new Spider-Man 2 game that comes out in October. But this game is incredible. There's just so much to love about this game, especially the web swinging. When you swing as Spider-Man in this game, it's just... you really feel like you're Spider-Man. The bosses are awesome. Especially the Rhino boss fight. I just love that fight. The Mysterio fight is really cool. My point is, this game is amazing, and it will be an unforgettable experience for me forever. Okay, we head back to actual video game franchises now. As for 2005, one of my biggest childhood video games of all time, it's Mario Kart DS. Opening this game, Christmas 2005, I got my DS for my birthday in 2005, but yes, I was very young. I was only 4 years old when I got my DS, but my point is opening that up and opening, I believe I also got Zoo Tycoon for the DS that year, which I had some fun with, but this was the big game for 2005 for that Christmas. And Battle for Bikini Bottom too, because I got that Christmas as well, but this was the game I played immediately after I got it. I played this game so freaking much. I remember playing the balloon battle mode on the giant DS in space, and it was freaking incredible. I remember working my butt off to get all the cups and all the speeds and stuff like that, and getting all the characters. But the saddest part is I never, ever, ever unlocked Rob in this game, but I unlocked the other characters. So, that counts, right? Anywho, Mario Kart DS is the most nostalgic Mario Kart for me, and it's my favorite game in the franchise. Is that a little bit of nostalgia blindness? Maybe. But, in my opinion, if I was to ever pick up another Mario Kart game again, which I definitely will, I will definitely be picking up this one. This game is incredible. I had to really think about this one between this game or Final Fantasy XII. But ultimately, I think Gary's Mod has influenced me a little bit more. This game is just so much freaking fun. You can go all around these custom maps. Basically, it's the ultimate free roaming Valve game. And how can you complain about that? You get to create whatever world you want. Well, you don't get to create it, but you get... Use the workshop to your advantage with this game. Use the Steam workshop to your advantage in this game. And I don't know what the hell you could complain about with this game. Well, I do have one. If you don't have certain games alongside with Gary's Mod, you will often run into a point where on the maps the entire thing is made of purple and black blocks. But if you get some games and like patch and stuff like that, you can fix it. But it often comes up so much that it kind of ruins the experience. But countless fun times I have had with this game. So many times that it's my favorite game of 2006. And I don't think anybody is going to take that away. But maybe if I do play some game that came out this year that I find better, this might be dethroned. But for now, Gary's Mod is my favorite game of 2006. Told you another 3D Mario game would show up on this list. And spoiler, we have one more after this. 2007 is Super Mario Galaxy. I remember I got my Nintendo Wii for my 7th birthday in 2008. It came with Super Smash Bros. Brawl and this, Super Mario Galaxy. I threw in Galaxy immediately, and I think I can say the same thing I said with Super Mario Sunshine and every other game. I fell in love with it. Just the worlds with all the galaxies is just so freaking stunning. The mechanics are so cool where you basically just walk around the planets and stuff like that. It makes it feel so unique, and all the enemies and bosses in this game, I honestly don't quite like as much as Sunshine. I do like this game more than Sunshine, spoiler. This is my second favorite 3D Mario game behind 64. But, I mean, what can you not love about this game? It's just a stunning game that brought so many new things to Mario, and it is such an incredible game. Speaking of Super Smash Bros. Brawl, here it is. 2008's best game, in my opinion, is Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Now, while I played Super Mario Galaxy first, I have way more playtime with Super Smash Bros. Brawl. This is the number one game I played on my Wii throughout my life. Well, it's kind of close with the Wii Shop release of Donkey Kong Country, because I played that game for the first time on there, and I beat it 3 or 4 times on the Wii. This game, I think, is the number one actual Wii game I played on my Wii. But anyways, the worlds are beautiful. The fighting styles, I think, are the best of the series. I think this is the introduction of the Final Smash into the series. And while I think it's been implemented great in other games, I think this game implements it the best. The character roster is perfect. I think it started to get a little bit overstuffed, starting with Smash Bros., Wii U, and 3DS. And then it got a little more with Smash Ultimate, but I'm not complaining about those games, because both of those games are great. But Brawl, I think, has the perfect amount of roster for a fighting game. The character selection is absolutely perfect. I used to always either go with Luigi or Link in the game, but I think my main was Luigi. And I mean, what else can I say? Super Smash Bros. Brawl is an absolute blast of a time to play. Batman Arkham Asylum is going to be taking 2009's spot. In 2016, I fell in love with Batman. I liked Batman before that, but in 2016, I fell in love with the character after I picked up the first season of Batman the Animated Series up from Walmart and watched it and fell in love with it. When I heard there was a realistic but had the same cast as the Animated Series game for this game on last generation consoles at the time, but it was released onto PS4 eventually. I had a PS3, so I decided to pick up Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I played those games, and Arkham Asylum is my favorite. What the heck can I say about this game? This game is freaking awesome. Yeah, you only really get to go around Arkham Asylum in the game, but I mean, come on. The way they portray the asylum is huge, and its freaking art style is breathtaking. The mechanics as Batman, just like in Spider-Man 2 for the PS2, you actually feel like you're playing as Batman in the game. The interpretations of the villains, while new, feel really close to their characters. I mean, Batman Arkham Asylum. This is one of the best comic book video games of all time, and I 100% agree with that statement. 2010 is going to be Red Dead Redemption 1. I think 2 is a far better game, but I mean, you can't diss the original Red Dead. John Marsden is an awesome character, and I mean, basically, this is Grand Theft Auto in the Wild West. I think both games have better stories than most GTA games, but I mean, the game is so expansive. You get to go around all sorts of landscapes and Wild West towns and stuff like that. The missions are so freaking cool. I'm not as experienced with Red Dead 1 as I am the second game, but I mean, you can't really diss either of the Red Dead games. Both of them are amazing. Though I will say, what is it, $40 for the original game releasing this year on modern consoles? No thank you. That's not worth it to me. But if you see this game on sale for some reason, it goes on sale, please get it, because this is an awesome game. 2011 is Mario Kart 7. Now, while I have more nostalgia and love overall for Mario Kart DS, I can't help but love Mario Kart 7 as well. This game is so nostalgic for me, especially the experience going to get this game. In 2011, my local GameStop finally opened in my county. It was awesome. I remember going there, I believe, opening day, and I believe I picked up, I think it was Pokemon Black and White, if I'm not mistaken. That was an awesome day that I'll never forget. But I remember leading up to Christmas 2011, leading up to me getting my Nintendo 3DS, which I still have to this day. Leading up to me getting that, we got Christmas presents such as Mario Kart 7, Nintendo X Plus Cats, and Super Mario 3D Land that go with my 3DS. And opening this up on Christmas Day and playing the heck out of this, it'll be an experience I'll never forget. And that's only about the experience for the game. The game is awesome too. It has a smaller roster, but I mean, come on. It's literally all the characters they picked for the game are perfect. The worlds are awesome, especially the music land. The battle mode is awesome. Mostly everything about this game is awesome. And I mean, they haven't released a mediocre Mario Kart game. Or like, the only two that I find not that great are the original Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart Super Circuit. But I said that 100 times, but anywho, Mario Kart 7 is so friggin' nostalgic for me, and I love the hell out of it. This is the only time you are going to see this series on the list. But yes, I do have a Call of Duty game for one of the years, and that year is 2012, in which my favorite game of 2012 is Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which is my personal favorite Call of Duty game as well. I pretty much love the original Black Ops trilogy almost equally, to where I could play any of those three games today and enjoy the shit out of them. And I can also say the same about Modern Warfare 2 and 3. The original game, I think, is slightly overrated, but I love Modern Warfare 2 and especially 3. But overall, I'm not even close to a fan of the modern Call of Duty games, which is pretty much everything after Black Ops 3 in my opinion. And I haven't enjoyed a Call of Duty game since Black Ops 3. But anyways, Black Ops 2, I remember playing this with my buddy back in the day. We had a blast. The chat rooms were absolutely freaking filthy, but looking back at it, it was freaking hilarious listening to what grown ass adults swearing at other players because they got killed or something like that. Looking back at that, that was freaking hilarious. But my favorite mode was the zombies mode. Dude, I love Call of Duty Zombies to this day, and if I do ever get a new Call of Duty game again, it's gonna be just to frickin' play Zombies mode. Because I'm honestly not that big of a fan of this series, but I have some super nostalgic memories with Black Ops 2. Okay, this year was actually pretty hard. Because I love both of these games almost equally. It was between The Last of Us and Grand Theft Auto 5. But I have just played Grand Theft Auto 5 so much more and fell in love with the story and characters and the driving mechanics and everything about the game. I have to put it at the top spot for 2013. Dude, this game was so hyped up in my school. Everyone was so freaking excited for this game to come out. And I just came to realize, last week, that was 10 years ago. It was in 6th grade. I was in 6th grade when this movie came out, and everyone hyped the crap out of it. I remember I finally opened this game up in Christmas 2013 for my Xbox 360. I installed the game and I've played this game at least every year or two since. I am currently playing this game. This is the game I'm currently playing a walkthrough for right now. And I'm going to try to get 100% for the first time. On my last playthrough, I got 92% through the game. But I had to do another 8%. This time, I'm going to 100% beat this game. And I mean, how couldn't I? While I love GTA Online, I like the story mode even more. I love all the characters you got. You got Franklin, who is trying to get out of his neighborhood to sort of go on to bigger and better things. And he meets Michael and can commit bigger criminal acts. Michael, who is down on his luck, basically a big down on his luck character, and you got his family, which is Tracy, Amanda, and Jimmy, who all influence him, and because of his alcoholism and stuff like that, they eventually leave him and his criminal acts. But my favorite character is Trevor. Trevor is just a psychotic man who wants to be in control of everyone and every act, and it's freaking awesome seeing all the psychotic outbursts he has. But all three of these characters together make the best GTA cast of all time. I love the shit out of this game, and I never will stop loving this game. It is my personal favorite GTA game of all time. 2014 brought me a game that I play pretty much at least once a month nowadays, and that is The Sims 4. I remember when this game was coming out, I was starting to play The Sims 3 that exact same year, but I believe this game came out in September of that year, so I had to wait to get this game. But when we did, and I finally installed this game onto my computer, it was a freaking blast. In general, I am a huge fan of these Sims games. I've been playing them since I was a little kid, but 4 is now by far my favorite. I mean, all the mods you can do, the amount of stuff you can do to build your houses up, all the multiple floors and all the patterns you got. It's so much fun to have your own little virtual world in this game, and it's an awesome game to play. You can even do your own little roleplay worlds in this game, and The Sims 4 is a frickin' blast to play, and it's probably the game on this list I play the absolute most, and I love it for that. It's a game I frequent all the friggin' time. 2015 is going to be Super Mario Maker. Super Mario Maker came out in 2015, and it built a whole community with it. I like watching these Mario Maker videos with my stepfather, and we watch them on the TV sometimes, and we watch people try to go through these really hard levels, mainly with the second game now, but 2015 brought us Super Mario Maker, and I remember playing the game for the first time, and I built that world that I built in GD Plush. I forgot the name of it, but it's the level Woody played, and I'll always have memories of this game. I mean, come on. Super Mario Maker is so friggin' awesome. I remember playing this really hard level that I eventually finally beat, but it took me like 250 tries, but I never gave up. I played it about 250 times and I finally beat it. What can I say? This is just such a creative game that I have to put it at the top spot for 2015. Okay, I'm just gonna spoil it. 2016, in my opinion, was probably my least favorite year for gaming, as this game that I picked for the top spot, I like a lot, but it may be my least favorite game on the list, and that is Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. I've tried to get into the Uncharted games, and this one is my favorite game in the franchise, but I don't know, it's just not really for me, I guess you can say. I like it, but automatically I have to pick this game, because I don't think 2016 was that good of a year for games. I probably have to play a few more games that came out this year, but mainly I have to pick Uncharted 4 because it is the best game of the year for me, but still, I don't think it's the greatest game ever. I think it's just not for me. Not a huge fan of the style of game. I feels a little too similar to Indiana Jones for me. So, while I like this game and I am picking it for the top spot for 2016, I'm not a huge fan of 2016's selection for games. However, we'd get right back into it with 2017. 2017 brings us my least favorite 3D Mario game. But still, it's still an awesome game, which just proves how awesome 3D Mario games are. 2017 is Super Mario Odyssey. And yes, while I think this game is still overrated, I love it. I love this. You remember when I said Mario Sunshine was my second favorite world in terms of its beauty for the Mario games? This is number one. Just all the realistic worlds throughout the game, especially the opening, like, mountain level. It's just frickin' stunning. This game is beautiful to look at. Everything with the hat mechanics is cool. And everything with the whole storyline is really cool, except for the ending. I wasn't a huge fan of the ending. But I will say why I think this game is overrated. This game is overrated because it just gets a bit repetitive with how much there is to do in this game, how much there is to collect. Like, what is there, like 900 moons to collect in this game? It's very overstuffed, but I mean, it's still an awesome game, but you know what I'm saying. It's very overstuffed, and I think it's very hard to get into, and especially playing 100% walkthrough of this game, because there's just a little too much to it. Like, I want a more simple 3D Mario game the next time we get a 3D Mario game. Maybe a little more than something like Sunshine or Galaxy. Like, maybe you have 300 stars to collect in the game and make it all sorts of unique challenges and stuff like that. But I feel like some of the moons are a little too easy to get and stuff like that. But anyways, my overall opinion of this game is it's awesome, but it's my least favorite due to its overstuffedness. 2018, but a game that I think is even better than this one, though. 2018 brings us Red Dead Redemption 2. Like I said, I 100% love this game more than the original. The original is a great game, but by gosh. 2018 was already a great year for gaming when we got Marvel's Spider-Man. But Red Dead Redemption 2 just friggin' solidified the year as one of the best gaming years of the 2010s, in my opinion. Because you also got God of War that year and so many other brilliant games. 2018 was just a freaking great year for video games. Smash Ultimate, so many great games. But Red Dead Redemption 2 reigns supreme. Arthur Morgan is one of the best gaming protagonists of all time. You can basically make him however you want, if he's evil or good. Which is what I like probably the most about the game, is the honor system. The world is freaking... There's never been a gaming world yet to this day that I find more beautiful than Red Dead Redemption 2's. The mountains, the deserts, the towns, everything about the game just makes you feel like you are literally traveling through the Wild West in the late 1800s. The weapons in the game is awesome. The system of how you get everything is awesome. Honestly, it is a tough choice between this or Grand Theft Auto 5 for me to say if I prefer one or the other. It's literally too close of a call. Both of these games are in my top 10 favorite video games of all time. I think they'd be like right next to each other. Eventually, I am going to remake my top 10 favorite games of all time. That's probably at least a month or two away, but Red Dead Redemption 2, what a freaking incredible game. Okay, I think we're going to get a little bit of a downgrade from 2018 for 2019 video games. So, I picked Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. A great game, especially for Star Wars fans. But this may be my second to least favorite game on the list behind Uncharted 4. Just because, while I'm a moderate Star Wars fan, I enjoy Star Wars a lot. I'm not the biggest, hugest Star Wars fan in the world. I used to be, but because of all the Disney, because of the sequel trilogy, my opinion on the franchise has tarnished a little bit. So, I haven't been as big of a Star Wars fan as I used to be, but this game is still pretty damn good. I love the fact that you can change your lightsaber color to all sorts of colors. The protagonist is very likable, and Cal. The Darth Vader fight at the end of the game is freaking awesome. I love the worlds this game presents. So I do love this game. I do. I think it's actually the best thing Star Wars related other than The Mandalorian since The Force Awakens. But 2019 in general, I don't think had that many other great games. Oh, Mario Maker 2 came out this year, but I feel like that'd be a little bit repetitive putting another Mario Maker game because it would just be a little too similar. Mario Kart is a little bit different because you have different courses and stuff like that, but putting Mario Maker 2 would make this list a bit repetitive. So that's why I put Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for 2019. 2020, yet again, wasn't the greatest year for video games either. 2020 had one big thing that happened that year, besides the pandemic. That was the release of the PS5 and Xbox Series X. So, I got the PS5 that year for Christmas. What is my favorite game from 2020? That's right, it's Astro's Playroom. I am not kidding. My favorite game of 2020 is Astro's Playroom. This just plays with its new console perfectly. This is how I got used to all the controls for the PS5. This is the built-in game with the PS5, and weirdly enough, I have a little bit of nostalgia for this game for when I first got the PS5, picked this up around Christmas time. Tree was up. I got the PS5 a little bit earlier than Christmas, but it was the big Christmas gift for that year. I played it, and this is the number one game I played. I got Spider-Man Miles Morales as well, but this is the game I played the most. My little cousin loves this game. Every time he comes over to my house for family parties and stuff like that, he goes right to the PS5 and plays this game. So, this game holds some special memories to me. And that is mainly why I put it as my favorite game of 2020. 2021 brings us Guardians of the Galaxy by Square Enix. This is another brilliant property by Guardians of the Galaxy. I love pretty much everything the Guardians are in, and this is no exception. This is a fun and great game. I love that you sort of get the other Guardians as your buddies. Not really playable characters, but they help you out throughout the game. Star-Lord is the star of the show, and I really appreciate that. I felt like Marvel's Avengers was extremely overstuffed and stuff like that with characters. And that's not the biggest problem with the game. That's not a great game in general, but Guardians of the Galaxy is. I think Square Enix learned their lesson and actually made a great Marvel game. And it's a really fun game. I love all the different galaxies you go through and stuff like that. This is truly an awesome game. Alright, we got 2 more years to go. 2022's game is going to be Stray. Stray is truly a one-of-a-kind game. It's a platformer for the most part, but it's just so unique that you play as a realistic cat with a backpack, basically, and you go through this post-apocalyptic world. This game is freaking breathtaking. So far, this is my favorite game of the entire decade so far. Stray is just such a fun game and so unique, and I fell in love with the world that you basically get to experience with a cat. It may sound kind of goofy, but in context, it is a little bit goofy, but The ending made me teary-eyed, actually, which is the first time a game has done that in a while. And I can't gush about any other game this decade that's better than Stray. I think this is the game of the decade so far. That, I think, is going to be dethroned next month when Spider-Man 2 comes out. And that leaves us into the final year of my ranking. This year, 2023. What is my favorite game of 2023? Well, I almost guarantee this is going to be not here much longer. And you know how I said Uncharted was my least favorite game on the list? Nah, this is it. Because this is the only game on the list that is not even a good game. This is not even a good game. But the only reason I have it on here, it's the only game from 2023 I've played. So I automatically have to go with my favorite game of 2023 being MLB The Show 23. Listen, I do not like this game. I think it's a massive downgrade from the previous year. The system with the GM is just dumb and stuff like that. And I hope this doesn't start a huge downfall like it did Madden. I knew from the start this game was going to be dethroned when Spider-Man 2 came out. But there's just not a lot I like about this game. It's not a horrible game. I'd rather this than the newest Madden, but I mean, come on. This is my favorite game of the year so far. It's just because I haven't played many games from this year. I think if I play one actual game from this year that's come out so far, this will be dethroned. But I just haven't played many games from 2023. So by process of elimination, I have to go with MLB The Show 23. And that's about it. I hope you guys like my take on every game, my favorite game from every year I've been alive, from 2001 to 2023. I'm also hoping this video will tide you over a little bit for my SpongeBob ranking. That was intended to be the next video like this. I'm just going to tell you there may even be one or two more videos like this before that, like in the style of me recording a ranking or top 10 or favorite from something lists. We may be getting more of them before that because this is a huge video that's going to take hours to edit, film, make thumbnails for. This is just going to be a huge video. So if you get something like another top 10 or 2 in between that, just understand this video is going to be the biggest video I've probably ever made. So I hope you guys like this video, and that's about all I have to say. Two's Corner here. See you later. Bye.